Pet Simulator X is suing players, suing other Roblox games, and is involved in huge controversies right now. A massive Roblox update just got announced, and so much more insane news today. So please subscribe and stay tuned to the end because the news is jam-packed today. Firstly though, let's start with McDonald's actually collabing with Roblox, kind of. Recently it was announced that Roblox and McDonald's are actually going to collab, and the collab isn't actually with Roblox, it's with Adopt Me. This person tweeted us like this: reportedly, Adopt Me is to have a Happy Meal promotion. It is not known what countries will participate. This is the first time Roblox has been featured as a Happy Meal promotion. So yeah, and as we can see, this is like a mock-up image or whatever. And this post did actually miss something because we do actually have some official countries that are going to be participating. RDC News followed up by saying this: countries that are participating: Austria on the 7th of September, and then Canada on the 26th of September, which is pretty good. And I've also seen a lot of people speculating that it might come into like different countries, but in the future. So I mean, yeah, it's actually pretty insane. Adopt Me, I feel like for some reason is like the one Roblox game that gets like the most collabs. Like if you guys remember like a little bit ago, they were on like a bunch of like cereal and like other grocery products, and now they're collabing with like the biggest restaurant in the world for a Happy Meal. It's actually pretty wild to see. It would have been cooler if it was like an official Roblox McDonald's collab, but I mean, I guess this kind of makes sense because Adopt Me for some reason is just like the kind of poster game for Roblox for advertisers. So I mean, yeah, this is pretty cool, and I wonder if like it's gonna have some like special codes with it or something. But anyways, this week is something pretty big. So for the past literally years now, everyone has been wondering if Roblox will ever come to PlayStation. And during these last 3 years, there's been a bunch of up and downs. There's been moments where people thought it's never gonna come out, and then there's been moments where people got a little bit of hope. And well, a few months ago, a lot of people thought that it was like the nail in the coffin, and that Roblox will never ever come to PlayStation. There's like a whole article and tweet that blew up on this, and everyone's making videos on it saying that Roblox will never come to PlayStation. But all of that like article and drama that happened a few months ago was all like a big misunderstanding. And well, today it kind of just proves that it was a big misunderstanding. Blox News tweeted saying this: icons for the PlayStation controller and buttons have been found in the Roblox files, further confirming that an official PS4/PS5 app for Roblox is in the works. So yeah, in the files, it literally found that Roblox is working on and adding features for PlayStation 4 and 5. Right now, all they added was all like the button icons and layovers, but in the past, they had been working on more PlayStation stuff in the files. And there literally has been like job opportunities for Roblox where they literally ask people for like PlayStation help and support. So I mean, why would they do all this and literally hire people to work on PlayStation and make all the icons stuff for PlayStation if they weren't planning on coming to PlayStation? Although it's been a few years and they always say it's coming soon, it always does seem a bit rocky, but in the future, sometime we will definitely see Roblox on PlayStation. They've been working on it for a while now, and they always say it's gonna come soon. And I know we all probably waited years, and I don't know how much more years we have to wait at this point, but at least we know that it's not cancelled. Like, it will come eventually, but we just don't know when. But anyway, let's do the next story, which is pretty interesting. So I feel like over time, Roblox Arsenal has kind of slowly faded away. It used to be a massive game, and it still is a very massive game, but due to hackers and stuff in the game, a lot of people have stopped playing it. And in general, Arsenal is a pretty big hacking problem on the platform. But recently, their new update might help us a lot. They announced that people who use the Microsoft ad version of the game can no longer play Roblox Arsenal. So if you log into Roblox Arsenal, it'll just give you like a disconnected screen. You're not allowed to play it at all. And the reason he did this is because apparently like anti-cheat and like the new Roblox by far or whatever, and just hacking in general, it's easier to get by in the Microsoft version. So he straight up banned it, and you're not allowed to play it anymore if you're on that version of the game, which is pretty crazy because obviously like this will help a lot with hackers and stuff, but there's also probably a bunch of people out there who don't hack and just play on the Microsoft version. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here. Although to be fair, if you play the Microsoft version, it's very easy to switch over to the desktop version, and then that way it's kind of a win for them because the desktop version has the new anti-cheat and stuff. And I've also seen other developers in their replies like Asimo being like, oh, they didn't even know this was possible, and they might add it to their games as well. So it seems like to help hacking and stuff, a lot of popular games and developers are going to start banning the Microsoft version of the game to like play Roblox, which is pretty crazy, but it also does make kind of sense. But anyways, with that being said, let's move to our last story, which is insane, and there's so much layers to this, and it isn't even drama at this point. They're literally suing people, other players, other games. It's actually wild. I'm gonna break it all down today. Firstly though, let's start with the elephant in the room of that Pet Simulator X is kind of dying. Yesterday, they actually hit their lowest concurrent players since like last year, which is pretty wild to see. Although to be fair to Preston and big games a little bit, it is September and it is around the time people start going back to school. But even with that being said, and the daily players have been constantly dropping even throughout the summer. And then a few days ago, as you guys probably heard me talk about, I talked about how Pet Simulator X sued a leaking account, and they issued like a DMCA takedown copyright like strike because they were using his assets or whatever. And this person followed up with like a more explanation of the story, saying that they've been leaking stuff for 2 years and they're kind of like, they didn't have any issues with Preston and stuff before, but then out of nowhere, they just completely started taking stuff down. They took down like the Discord and stuff, and they just issued random like DMCA strikes against them. And they even explain that this can go even further legally if they're not safe, and they can get in trouble even further. So I mean, yeah, this situation is kind of crazy, because I thought when they strike them down, they probably got like a warning and stuff, but how they're explaining it, they didn't get a warning at all. Pet Simulator out of nowhere, after 2 years of leaking, just decided, oh, I'm gonna strike them down. But little did we know, this was just a start, and ever since this strike happened, so many DMCA strikes from Pet Simulator X came out, and so many games are getting sued by Pet Simulator X, getting DMCA requests from Pet Simulator X, and it's just insane. Next, this happened. Big Games Legend requested a DMCA takedown on Arm Wrestle Simulator, so yet again, Pet Simulator X is requesting a strike and takedown of Arm Wrestling Simulator, another very popular game. And what they claim is that they stole their pets and that the pets are very similar. And this is a screenshot that they showed to kind of compare the pets. And I mean, in this screenshot, if you just look for like pet for pet, they're not really the same thing at all. Like if we look at the dog on the top, which is the Arm Wrestling Simulator game, and the dog at the bottom, like the only similar thing is that it's a cube, which Preston didn't even invent, by the way, but we'll get to that later. Now usually with these copyright and like takedown requests and stuff, usually when this happens, the game will just get taken down and you can't even get it back, which happened in cases that we're going to talk about later. But in this circumstance, I guess with how big Arm Wrestling Simulator is and stuff, they got like a second chance or whatever, because since the situation, they changed all the pets and stuff and all the icons, so they should be good now. And also, to be fair to Preston for once, there was some pets in the game that were basically the exact same thing as Pet Simulator X. Like, I can't even lie. But they didn't even show this pet in the example. The pets that allegedly got them strike down were the pets that I showed in the screenshot before, and like I explained, they didn't even look that similar. It's just the fact that their cube is the only similar thing. So this one's a bit weird, but in the end, Arm Wrestling Simulator just changed everything and they should be good now. But the later ones I want to talk about, it got way worse. Speaking of which, for some reason, Pet Simulator X started taking down every single simulator, and every single simulator that had like pets relating to Pet Simulator X or had any pets with the cube in it, which is actually insane because a lot of the times the games weren't even that popular. A lot of the games that I'm going to talk about had like 50 players or like 20 players active, so they weren't even like mainstream successful games like Arm Wrestling Simulator. They're just random games made by like smaller developers. Even if it wasn't related to Pet Simulator X at all, had a cube pet, they would strike a DMCA request against them and get the game taken down. Which just makes no sense because Pet Simulator X and Preston, they don't own a cube pet. They don't own that whole genre. That just makes no sense. Let me just show you what's going on. Another game has been DMCA taken down by Big Games due to pet similarities. And it was just like a regular simulator game, but it had pets in it that were cubed, and well, Preston took it down. And I'm not sure what the game is now because it was taken down, but apparently like this was one of the pets or something, which once again, it doesn't look anything like Pet Sim X. The only similarity is that it's a cube, which Preston didn't invent and they don't own that whole like genre. The league account that got sued originally kind of called them out for all this, saying, Big Games now believes they have complete ownership of cube pets. Recently, Big Games has taken action against high player games and even low player games that include cube pets. Some may argue that they look similar in a way, but how else do you make a bear or a cat in a cube form? Which, I mean, yeah, it's pretty fair. Big Games have gone too far, so I assume if you want to be a developer, you need to avoid using cube pets in your game or you'll be deleted. And then he shows screenshots of people getting DMCA takedown requests like I showed for cube pets and stuff, and like I said, a lot of them aren't even that close or similar. The only similarity is that it's a cube pet, which they don't own. A lot of people in the community were saying that Mining Simulator was actually like the OG one of the cube pets, and that Pet Sim X didn't even do it. And the crazy thing is it doesn't even end here. Here's another game that got a DMCA takedown request for similar pets. And it's not even like a main page like front game or whatever. They said they only had 20 people active when it got striken and taken down. And as we can see here, they got their content removed. And there's a takedown request from Big Games. Like, it's actually insane. I don't know what happened to Preston in the last few days. He literally went into like a villain arc and started striking everyone down. And then I also saw this one from this person, a Bow Simulator, which is another small game, yet again get taken down. Although to be fair, I saw some screenshots of Bow Simulator, and this one did actually kind of steal stuff. As you can see right here, the cover of the game, like that is Pet Sim X pets. I can't even like deny that. Although I don't know what the pet looks like in the game, so they might have just used it for the thumbnail, but the pet in game might have been different. I don't really know. So literally any game, no matter if it's big or small, if it has any cute pet in it, Preston has been striking and DMCA requesting them down. And there's a bit of confusion in the community going on because a lot of people thought that some of the lawsuits and DMCA strikes were not Pet Sim X and it was like a false one. But then Schlep here commented replying with like the unique numbers of like actual big games, and they matched like the official requests and stuff. And not to mention, obviously everyone was like memeing on Preston and hating on him. So he commented on it saying that these requests were actually dumb, and the reason that they're all at once is because they filed them 2 months ago, but Rolls takes time to like process and whatever. So once he finished processing, they all just sent out at once. Alright, I was just about to put this video out, and it is a different day, that's why I sound a bit different. And the situation got 10 times worse. Firstly, everyone banded together and started trending boycott big games, and it's trending worldwide on Twitter, which is actually insane to see. And secondly, Pepsi McDonald's got exposed by someone for stealing like $480,000 from them from like a plushie company. It's actually insane, but I'll break it down in another video because there's so much layers to it. So subscribe so you don't miss it. But it's crazy how much bad stuff's coming out about Pepsi Max right now. So I mean, yeah, crazy situation. Lawsuit and DMCA copyright strike after copyright strike after copyright strike. And if you enjoyed the check this video where the owner of Roblox was hacked, or check out this video for a more in-depth review of the first Pepsi Max lawsuit, and I'll see you in the next one.